So a good show today. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of the new spring collection. We have just under half of it in, so we can go ahead and start talking about that. And then throughout the conversation, we're going to also talk about the problem children that you submitted. I asked you on Sunday to send us pieces that have been causing issues in your wardrobe, and we wanted to dissect why. And what we quickly found out is by doing that exercise, things fell very much into like 3 or 4 buckets,
yep,
right?
Totally.
And so instead of, you not knowing what like Katura has in her closet and being able to, and me not knowing what's in your closet and being able to help you at that granular of a level, what we were able to do though was dial it back and talk about it more at a top level, which I think all of you guys are going to benefit from. And it's kind of like teach a man to fish here, right? So why don't we start talking about spring?
Let's go.
Tell me what you're wearing.
Okay, so it's funny because we have this in 3 colors. The top that I'm wearing is actually ruched. I'm wearing a small. You can see that it's actually a beautiful shape and a very interesting and, I don't know, high neckline. Because it's a point of view, like it's elasticized here and it's also elasticized here, but I get the draping at the neck that I really enjoy. It's a cocoon shape that we're known for.
Yeah.
And I wanted to pair it back to my Wilts in Stone just to show you what these ring 4 colors do when they're paired back to a neutral.
And
you're gonna blow their mind in the first 30 seconds.
I know, like
Amy.
Matt's back. They're so excited. This just arrived from Italy. We're still tweaking on it a little bit, but this did just arrive.
No, when you turn it to the side, you can get the full, guys.
It's amazing. So what I want to show you here, though, and this will answer, again, some of your problem children questions.
Yeah.
You guys sent us some things with shine, some things with color, things that were residing in the ring 4s. And you just were not finding a range of how to make these items work. You had 1 or 2 things that you could wear them with. Often it was with black or neutral, another neutral, and you were feeling one way every time you did it. And we know that when you jump rings here, when you're mixing like a lavender here, if Katura was wearing it with black or if she was wearing it with white, the effect would be much sharper. You can imagine if you had a white pant on right now with this navy and the lavender.
Yep.
The look would be more classic, more conservative, more strict. And so by mixing it with the ring 3 color here, it just gave a different vibe. Personally, I think it's, and this is not a right or wrong vibe, it's just understanding what you're going for and being able to build out different feelings in your closet without focusing so much on building out different outfits.
So the look I was going for was relaxed, but still polished, which I feel like plays into my modifier, my elusive modifier. Soft, but also pragmatic because I can walk around and go as I please.
What size are you wearing in this?
So in the top, I'm wearing a small, and the pants I'm wearing an extra large.
Okay. Did you grab a small because that was the sample?
Yeah, and I was just curious about it because it is elasticized. So I can show you that this, if you are looking at this and like it's oversized, this has quite a slim armhole. So I don't suggest that you size down. If you can size down maybe 1 size if you must.
Do you think you would go to medium on this?
I think I would go to large.
Yeah.
Extra large would give me like more room to play and kind of get a little bit more length and still have the volume that I crave, but it's not a bad thing here. It just gives more of it's less chill right now. Like it feels like could be a work top or something that's a little bit more refined, but it still has a little bit of room.
So I think this is going to go under the category of quite an easy fit because it is so eased out. Yeah. And I think when in doubt, maybe size down if you're in doubt.
If you're in doubt, but don't jump across the size chart.
Don't jump across. Yeah.
Don't. No.
Okay.
And I'm wearing the trench also from Fundamentals in a large, and this is the largest size that we offer because we don't need it, and I mean it's generous and easy. So yeah.
It is generous and like
generous in the
generosity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of the colors of the collection, what if you are on our email list, you got a write-up where I really explained what Tracy and I were thinking about designing the collection and what Sarah and I were thinking about when we were styling this out and making it communicate what we wanted to say. And a big part of this collection was really nailing the color story. And it's one of those things where when it comes to me, it comes to me. And this was, I was watching at home, I was nursing a cold, and I was watching a movie with Paul Newman from the late 50s, I think, and it's called From the Terrace. And this color story was like the epitome of like the mixture of rings 1 and rings 2s and rings 3s and 4s. And it created such a vibe of just sophistication and chill and beautiful at the same time. And nothing was stuck in time. This is from the late 50s, but nothing was stuck in time. This color palette is not dated. You know, it's, you don't really know until you see the clothing or the fact that people cared so much when they dress.
Well, I look at how we lined it up, and it's really fresh, and all these kind of build into the past items that we, past collections. So it's very past, present, and future.
And I love it when I can see this.
It's super, it's
see it
immediately
in here.
Translated.
It's great.
Yep.
And one of the other things that I talked about in the newsletter around spring, you can see this in what Couture is wearing and what I'm wearing, and some of the things that Sarah's going to come out in, is this was really about, I wanted you to have some tops in the collection that you would feel you were complete when you put them on.
Right.
And I think that, you know, for a while, I've been designing a lot of tops in the mindset of things that would have the second layer, the third layer, the fourth layer even.
The lamb, the marlin, the max.
Exact layer vest. And I wanted to have something that when I put it on, I just felt like, oh, I'm really like, I've got on a complete look here, and I can just be quite simple and effortless without another layer on. Doesn't mean I don't love layers, and layers will never go away. There's something hugely pragmatic about them. But I did find that this was missing in my closet. And so like this top looks so beautiful with these jeans. And then what's the fabric of the one I'm wearing?
This boucle.
The boucle?
It's a stretch boucle, right?
It's a stretch boucle. And this is the, is it SML or it's probably 0 through?
I believe this one is not numeric.
Yeah, it's
yeah, this one's numeric, so you're wearing a size 4.
Okay, so I'm wearing the size 4 here. You get into it. We were able to do this really high neckline because you get into it with the zipper closure here. And the reason why this is sized, and for you guys to get an idea when you're looking at things online, the reason why it's sized numerically is you can see this armhole is high and inset. So you really can't have like very general broad sizing here. You need to like really be able to offer a range of sizing to people so that they can get into the right size. If you want to, you can see that's hitting me right up under the armhole, which makes sense because even though I have small shoulders, this measurement here is very much a true size 4 for me.
I'm standing behind you and I can see that this almost has a suiting seam. So it's a 2-piece or a 3-piece sleeve for a top, which is kind of unheard of. So it's going to give you that shaping.
Yeah.
You also have the facing. It's very clean finish. It's super comfortable, right?
It's really good. Yeah.
So you're wearing
this in white as well. And then we did it in a really cool dress. And the dress isn't up yet, is it? Okay.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Is it?
Sorry.
Yeah, the dress is so good.
Yeah, this is really good.
Here it is.
Oh, the sleeveless. The seaming is great.
So we've got it in the dress as well. And the seams are amazing. And the zipper is off to the side here. And this is a good segue into one of the groups of problem children that you guys sent me. And one of the groupings was you had pieces that you had invested like a shit ton of money in, right? And I'm going to give you here's one of the suits that was sent to me. Someone had bought this blazer. And for them, it was a really big investment, undeniably luxury from a designer that we all know and you know, that does very luxury stuff with amazing workmanship. But the thing is that's not good enough for a person who really strives to feel curious and interesting and modern almost all the time. And so when you're buying a piece that you imagined that you were going to wear a ton, if it did not really spark your curiosity and make you feel super cool, then it's not going to be something that you gravitate to. And this is where, when we talk about these kinds of items you guys send me, really pay attention to what it is that you are liking about the piece. And this is a challenge, you know, Tracy and Sarah and I put this to each other all the time. When we bring each other something, we're like, this picture looks really interesting. And Tracy or Sarah will always say to me, they're like, what do you like about it? And it doesn't mean that like, I fucking hate it, so what's up with you?
Right.
Like, what it means is like, tell me more so I can understand where your head is.
Right.
And I think we've gotten really good at deciphering what these pictures mean to us. It's almost like understanding a Rorschach test. Say that 3 times. And so if you're looking at that jacket, what you want to understand is the model in some amazing mid-century modernist, like she on an Eames chair laid back, or does she have like half her head shaved and like a really incredible tattoo, and she's wearing it in a way that's really ironic? Really check out your life. Like if you're not like spread out all over the Eames chairs all day, or if you haven't like gotten
Sounds like a dream.
the tat right there, then you may feel really basic when you wear this, especially when you start to dissect here that like you'll see like it's a regular armhole, it's a regular lapel, it's got a princess seam, where it hits. Yeah. It's very regular, it's very basic, and a lot of people demand basic, and they do, and it's why from a lot of these bigger companies things err towards basic, because they work with a law of averages, and that is not working for you, and a lot of you guys have recognized it, and that's why they're coming up as problem children.
So does this one go or stay or get adopted?
Knowing the brand that this was from, I would get this onto the Real immediately. You're going to get your money back, and you're going to know why it didn't work for you, and then you're going to go and you're going to find a brand that takes that level of luxury but leans into more of a point of view.
So not all problem children need to stay or have a fix or a solution. Sometimes
no, that's the beauty of them not being real kids.
Right.
Like, we can let them go. You know, it's
Yeah.
like they're not real kids. They're not like cats or dogs.
Yeah.
You don't have to make them work. Some of them you can let them go.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Come on, what you got?
Oh, I'm wearing fundamentals. So
Okay.
I can get my size.
Sarah's got her fundamentals on. We do not have our spring samples yet in her size, but why don't you've got the raw denim on. What are pieces up here, Sarah, that you would like really mix with raw denim?
Totally. So I think, you know, these are on sale right now, just letting everyone know. These
Very
are
good investment.
The brand Koozie and Dark Indigo. And I'm wearing the long, by the way, because I just really like how it hits at the ankle for me with the long style, and I can wear it up a little bit higher. But I definitely gravitate towards super like classic neutrals when I think of an indigo like this. So similarly to the top Amy's wearing, I love this white boucle. I also love, and we saw this a lot on the spring men's runways, just like a lot of really, really luxe white t-shirting, and just white shirting in general. I mean, there was Kaya Gerber at Valentino, and she was wearing jeans and a white button down and like huge, huge earrings that I just really loved. And there's something so luxurious about everyday wear, which I think is also like a tenet of Tibby.
It's practical.
It's practical, but like you want to feel good. So I mean, I really love the idea of this shirt. And you guys can't tell, this is the Pebble t-shirt in white. It also comes in a khaki color, but the fabric is pebbled, hence the name.
It's a really soft pebble crepe, right? So it's lightweight. We talk about our necklines, but our sleeves have a point of view too. There's a reason why this is like a regular, longer sleeve, the same almost as the perfect tee. And if you're looking at these two side by side, you know that, yes, you should expect this one to fit a little bit closer.
Totally.
And this one's going to fit a little bit looser and easier.
And this is where I think it's a good example, since you guys are holding them side by side.
Yeah.
They're very different, but it is absolutely the same individual who's wearing them. You know, and it's the cleanliness, it's the point of view. But one is quite fitted and one isn't, and that just is so that you can like move around for different moods that you're in at different times. And this is the ultimate play dinner work as well.
Totally. And I think because the armhole is larger and the shoulder is dropped, like very similarly to like the Liam jacket, there is a lot of mobility. So play, dinner, work are, you know, 3 very different facets of life. And I think being able to wear something for all 3 of those, granted if you don't get it dirty, but when I get white shirts dirty, I still wear them.
I dye mine.
Oh. So I just embrace like the coffee stain that's never coming out.
I have mommy juice on these.
But yeah, for me, it's definitely, this is the low-key top that, you know, just really serves a lot of different purposes.
It is a low-key top because it really like amps up, you know, a really, like you could wear it with a sweatpant and it's going to dial everything up, and you could wear it with like a really full evening skirt. Like some people ask what to wear with like the longer skirt, the schema skirt from Resort. And this with the sleeves a little rolled up with an earring is like a good chill moment.
You tuck a lot of your items in, Sarah.
I do.
And so this is a good point. Like if you're getting this, you'll get 2 different looks if you tuck it in or leave it out, right? So that's a different.
And I think coming from the stylist here as well, like this is a really good example where you're wearing all the neutrals, you're wearing the basics that have a point of view, but for you, like you're wearing it with the Celine boot that I'm just would freaking kill for. And then you've got the zigzag headband, you've got the scrunchie in, like all of these nods to like even push it one step further.
Totally. And I think that's what makes fundamentals like work for me personally and like my point of view. Like because, you know, a cardigan is just like a very core item for most wearers, not just those who wear tibby. For me to feel like myself, I do need to wear like a push shoe or a headband or something that just adds like a little bit of flair, shall we say? And
even if these were basics, so if they were cut basically, it would undermine the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Like these would be like fighting with the shoes in a way that like they just don't belong together.
Absolutely.
You know? And so that's how like sometimes people buy like a push shoe like this thinking like, oh, I'm going to use it and I've got that like really basic ass cut pant and it's going to make this pant more. But when you put them on together,
it's fighting, whereas you need to really find that fine line between both of them.
It's like if you took like a really interesting modern piece of furniture and then you put it in like a very old style Greenwich home, like straight with like a pale yellow wall, like straight up, it's not going to work. Like it works in the French Parisian, like that. Those kind of opposites play together nicely, but at some point it can just not work.
Yeah, I think that's really the beauty of our fundamentals is that they are so thoughtfully designed with really that in mind, how they're meant to be worn with other pieces, not necessarily just within tibby.
Absolutely. So speaking of problem children, and Katura, I think you can really talk to this one. This one was sent to you. And I've left the label in on this one because, to be clear, this is not talking smack about other labels. This is just helping you guys understand the differences between brands, because just because brands are all priced maybe at certain categories, it does not mean they're all alike. And that's always been a pet peeve I've had with especially American department stores, because their floors are set up by price point. So no one, like if I ask someone to describe their style, no one is like $4.95. What the fuck does that mean? You know, like you're chill, modern, and classic, or you're edgy and bohemian and fairy tale, whatever. But you're not $4.95, you're not $2.95, and you're not $12.95.
Yeah.
So the Jacquemus top here was sent to you.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten a lot of your problem children, and we've talked about them, and a lot of them fall into this category. So that's a great fabrication and a very basic fit. So you think, okay, it's in a polo. You know, this is going to be an easy thing to digest. I wear polo all the time. You have
what is the category to you, though? Are these things like that maybe people like, these are the category of the things that like maybe got your blood running when you saw it?
Right, you're excited about it, and you probably think you have to have it. So that goes into have to have. I have to have this thing. And really, you get it, and you're like, I had to have it, but the tag's still on it, which you said to me. So you look at it, and we also talk about rule of 3. So let's talk about all that's going on here. We have, it's a polo style neck with a pocket. It's sheer. It has orange embroidery that's floral. We also have this organza tipping on the sides with the contrast stripe. I mean, I could stop counting myself, but I've listed over 3. And the rule of 3 says that like you only need 3 items to make something complete.
To make it complete.
Right.
For a CP. Because,
for a CP.
Right, like Jacquemus, Chloe, for instance, like they're going to have like 3 plus 5, you know?
But like, we're not going to redesign this, but if we were to try to make this into a CP item, we need a little bit less. So maybe this is the easy t-shirt body, or it doesn't have a collar, or it's not embroidered, but we can't redesign this. So it's hard for you because it has too many items.
Too many things going on. Yeah. It has that side zipper as well, so it's
fitted.
It looks loose, but it's actually fitted.
Yeah.
And so I think like when you talk about other typical CP brands, like a Margiela, like a Balenciaga, and guys, I'm just naming like the top guys because it makes vocabulary easy and we know those brands. But if they were to do a lace shirt, there is a strong odds that it would be like a bodysuit.
Maybe a turtleneck.
Maybe a turtleneck, or it would be like in a very generous, easy t-shirt like the one that Sarah just hung up. And it would not, and then it would be lace, and then it would be transparent. 1, 2, 3, done.
Yep.
So for this top, these kind of purchases, you need to really decide how many of them are you going to let be in your closet. When you wear it, just know you are in outfit mode. So you can create an outfit with it for sure, but you're probably not going to get that many outfits out of it. Again, it's got a Jacquemus label. If it were me, I would resell this one just because you're going to get resale value on it. You know, he's a great designer and he appeals to, you know, on average, a different type of customer. And so I think that what I want you guys to think about, though, is if these types of items are landing in your closet into the problem children bin, then learn how to read the shirt. Learn how to describe it out loud so that you can start to really build your own blueprint for when things are consistently working and when they're not. And so, you know, I have a lot of tops from Jacquemus and from a lot of Scandinavian brands like Gani. And I think people like, you're drawn into like the advertising visuals of it. And
it's fun. I'm not going to deny it. It looks
fun, you know, and usually it's like a really cool young person. They're wearing it and it looks amazing. But then you're like, well, wow, you know, that may not be my life every day. It may not be who I am. So anyways.
So would you put all of our problem children that we got into this bucket that were printed or colorful or just rule of 3?
I think that, I made a note here so that I could be really helpful to you guys. I think that the other thing that was in here was that there was a rule of 3, and then there was
rule of 3, and I think rule of 3 stands by itself for CP.
Yeah, I think it's just learning how to recognize, you know, when something is breaking that rule of 3. Because like Sarah and I both have that same Margiela fringe coat. And that one, like someone could look at that fringe coat and then look at this Jacquemus top and wonder like, okay, what's the difference in them? But, you know, it was just the suede and the fringe and the buttons detailed. The buttons were like all deconstructed and hanging. They were made out of the suede as well. So if that had had contrasting fabrication, if the buttons had been an Akoya, even something subtle, it would have taken on a different vibe. But they knew to like calm it down with all that one color and that one fabrication.
Okay, well, let's talk about CP scale. Because you and I talked about CP scale before for Sarah, for yourself. If you're in the CP scale of, maybe Sarah's a C10, which is C, creative, P, pragmatic. Where would you land her for pragmatism?
Well, I think Sarah's risk taker is her modifier. So you can like also like lean into personas differently in a day, right? Like sometimes in a day, but within a week for sure. But I think Sarah, C10 for sure. And I'd probably put her at like a P5 because it's always there. It's always a central part. And that pragmatism is all that creativity is brought into, all that pragmatism is brought into the creativity, right? And that helps separate like when you're going to wear something that is just like screaming an outfit versus your personal style. Like someone had sent us the Ganni skirt here in the red and white print, and then the Regina top here with the sculpting detail. And what I want to point out here is they sent us this top, but the top is what they had. They didn't have the skirt and the whole thing. And you can see here, this is a top that it is hitting the rule of 3, right? Like it's one fabric, sculpted, has that one tie detail. So it's hitting it. Now, they styled it though for someone who's really not a creative pragmatist. So where you've got it styled with the pleated skirt, what you'll see is like the pleated skirt is all asymmetrical as well. And a lot of times, like when you've got all that detail, even if it's fitting into to the rule of 3, when you've got all that going on here, and then you've got it going on here, this becomes a real outfit. And it starts to me, really define this person as someone who's kind of uber feminine and whimsical. And, you know, they take on a different persona to me, where this Regina top, when it's in the rule of 3, I would absolutely wear it with these jeans.
Totally.
You would wear it with this.
Slouchy carpenter all day.
Sarah could wear it with like a pair of leggings or whatever. So it's going to fit in there. So this to me is not it's not a toss. It's like, wear it, you know, just put it on though, but don't wear it with other outfitty things. And that's probably why you're saying I should be wearing this a lot more than I am. The answer is yes, you should, but you need to pair it back with things like fundamentals. And that's what fundamentals are really good for, because they really ground things. Just like this top.
Yeah, I feel super grounded. If I had on a very colorful skirt or some type of like printed pant, I would feel very like, I don't know, just overdone.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't feel as relaxed. Like I can go into any space right now and not feel, I don't know what the word is, but
I think with you would feel outfitting.
Yeah.
There's something like, over and over again, we hear from our team members here, and we hear from people who DM us that they don't want to look like they tried too hard.
Yes, I would feel like I tried hard, like I try hard.
And the thing is trying hard is good. Like people should try hard to be nice people, try hard to like be present, try hard to show respect by showing up and looking like you cared. That's a good thing. When you say you don't want to look like you tried too hard, we know what you're getting at. I'd like to find a different word for it, because I know what you're getting at with it.
They're going to drop it in the comments, I'm sure, because when you walk in and you feel like you've tried hard, you look like it, people don't see you first. They see the things you tried to do. And then when you try to like step in with who you really are, it's kind of too late.
Yeah, so exactly. So if you walk in with this outfit on here, the way that it was styled, you're right. I'm seeing a skirt, I'm seeing the top, I'm seeing shoes. Like,
not a full person.
I'm not seeing the full person. But if she walked in and she's like got her like little wide leg pants on and she's just like gonna stand like that, then I know who you are. We're gonna go have a good combo. I'm gonna have a combo with the other person.
Let's have Sarah come back.
Yeah, come back, Sarah.
So first of all, you are working the full-on neutrals here. In a great way.
Oh.
So she's 100% ring 1 right now, which I'm not mad at. Well, it's funny because it's ring 1 and ring 2.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, ring 1 and 2 are like all the
I kind of pair them together. So
so I'm wearing the compact stretch mini dress, which is shorter on the model. It's probably like to here, right?
Yeah.
I absolutely love this dress, and I'm not like a mini dress kind of person in terms of like a t-shirt dress.
Right.
But because of the material, I feel like it just kind of like holds you a little bit more.
But it's not clinging to you, like holds you. It's compact, so you feel like secure.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think secure. I think because it really is such a sturdy material, like, and it's like sturdy, honestly.
Like I can't see any of your parts. Like people when they wear a t-shirt dress, they're usually concerned like, can you see any lumps or bumps? Can you see my underwear? Can you see my bra? I see none of that because it's such a thick and like high quality yarn.
I think because of the material being so high quality, like I feel luxurious in it. And I think the idea that it's a t-shirt dress, like that juxtaposition between like a high-end material and what would be considered a super casual silhouette really works for me. And I'm just wearing it with, I was wearing it with the super fine gauge menswear inspired pull-on just around my waist, but and I'm not gonna put it on because I don't want to get makeup on it. But I tip it. Oops. But yeah, I just love that this kind of like broke it apart a little bit, and then I always have. This
it's very classic, but still kind of pushed in a non like outfitty way. Like it still feels like you are Sarah.
Totally. Well, when Amy was just saying that like I would be a C10 P5, I think this is like the P5 in me in terms of like bringing it back to center, putting it in neutral, so to speak.
But the C is still there at your shoe.
Totally, and just like the way that it's all put together.
Yeah.
But I really do tend to lean on really classic silhouettes. But you know, I think within Tibby and the way that Tracy and Amy designed the collection, there's modernity and a chillness to them as well.
So I want to talk to you about something, but I want to tell you I've been holding this in one hand. I don't know who told me to do this. My wrist actually hurts.
Oh, okay,
so this is, I don't think you're going to be sitting around with it. So shout out to Matt because this is probably one of the most beautiful. I mean, I've been holding it on an angle because you could see how full it is. And then I'm going to just show you that you could actually hang this on your wall and that you could move it. We talked about this before, so you don't have to make your own color wheels with your stickers anymore. It belongs to MoMA if you're out there, I'm just saying. But I want to talk to you about some of the things that you purchased a Loewe jacket when you were out recently, and that I said that seemed like something that would be with you for a while. People have items that are, their grandmother gave it to them, they're very special and near and dear to their heart, they have memories around them. How would you help them or help these problem children to be styled?
Yeah, so that to me is like almost the most important factor in terms of like how I think about purchasing an item, or, you know, if I'm gifted an item or something from, you know, a cousin or a relative, or it's been passed down. I love a story, and I think that automatically makes me really intrigued and to like something even more. So I think you have to think about the person who gave it to you and your relationship with them and the meaning behind it, and whether it's, you know, whether it's a coat that smells like your grandfather's cologne, or
someone gave us a brooch that was the size of her palm, and she said it reminded her of something her dad gave her when she was 5. It was a peacock.
Totally.
So like something like that, you know, does it go on a sweatshirt?
I mean, I would pin it to Amy's sweater. I'd pin it to this. I'd pin it to a lapel. I think brooches, for example, are an accessory that's often overlooked, but actually can.
I'm meant to.
But actually can do a lot to really close the loop and like solidify a look. Even if it's just, you know, using it as more of like a collar stay. Yeah, I think that especially if it's something small, like you'll get so much use out of it.
Earring.
Well, did you mention about the woman who sent over the jacket that her father's, she had said, I have this jacket and I just want to wear it, but it's really oversized and I don't know like how long the oversized trend is going to last and everything. But then she dropped the bombshell that she's like, and this was my father's jacket. And
totally.
Okay, first of all,
your father will always outweigh the trend.
Outweigh the trend, no matter what. Even if everyone says it's only about the world's most shrunken jackets right now, it's your dad's. And I think, you know, I think there's obviously so much oversharing right now on social media, right? And but there are some things that are like, they're proprietary to you. Not everyone needs to know it.
Absolutely.
And if someone is like, why is she wearing this big oversized jacket? You don't have to explain anything. You get like the power of knowing the connection of what you're wearing and why you've chosen to wear it. That's why I think we talk about the why behind the clothing so much, because that knowledge is power. It makes the person who would even start to judge it,
they're invisible.
they're invisible.
I think it's also, it's like that personal, like you said, that personal knowledge that like gives you confidence and strength. So maybe to an onlooker, it's just a coat or a trench coat, like, but to you, there's so much more behind it that makes you feel special when you're wearing it. To that point, a great tailor can do wonders for anything. So let's say you love this oversized coat, but it's oversized to a point where it's ill-fitting. Yeah. You can have a tailor really take it in. Yeah. And then it's really customized to you, and that gives you an even greater reason to wear it and to love it, because you've melded something that has a lot of meaning with really like who you are now.
Yep. A woman's body.
And then the tweak on, like, even do you want to hold this for a second? Like, even, so I just noticed when I looked in the mirror, like, so I put on the sweater here, which I love. For any of you guys who know, this is a sweater that Hannah had designed a few years ago for us. I would say it was about 30 to 40% more extreme at the time, and I wanted to bring it to a place where it still packed all of that modernity, but it was a little more wearable. But for me, right away when I put it on,
like, and Amy's wearing a small.
I'm wearing a size small, and I love these earrings. I just bought these on Completed Works. I bought these and the pearl one so I could mix them up. I love them. I love it with what I was wearing and the solid black. But for me, this is enough of an outfit here that I'm going to dial back on the earring.
Totally.
And it's this little thing, like when we talk about trying too hard, for me, this is trying too hard, and this is like not trying too hard. Right. So it's funny how just that little thing can make a difference, and you won't know it until you stand in your closet and you just allow yourself some time to play around and see where things are.
This tube yarn is hand knit. I am just like smitten with it because it's hand knit. It kind of is compact to you. It fits close to the body, but people have been asking if they should size up. I think you should take your true size in it. If you prefer it a little bigger, but it's also cropped. You know, it is what it is. What you see on Amy is like.
I would not
size up.
No, because you're going to get more of what you don't need in the other areas.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't size up. And again, like, it's just something that really, these are the new tuck jeans, and we've showed this on the runway with the white jean, which was to die. But the tuck jean is really great. Someone asked about like where this is hitting. So I'm a good like 2 inches below the belly button here. And you can see that this is where the zipper stops. So it's got a long zipper. And then I've got about another 2 inches of rise here. And this is what I think we do really, really well, is where we give this longer rise to give this ease, but it's not like one of those, it's not a drop crotch pant. A drop crotch pant is
like
a very,
right.
And that, like, since we've been mentioning other designers and where things go, like, that's a Rick Owens type pant. It's Nilly does that type of jodhpur pant. For me, I prefer the ease in this way, and this is why we do it.
The back of this has a elongated yoke too. And when I stand behind you, I can see it. That's a little longer than normal here. And this fits kind of like the carpenter, the slouchy carpenter. It's lower on the waist.
But it has kind of a nod to the barrel leg of the Sid jean. So for me, it really is a hybrid, and then you have this like very unique pin tucking detail.
So it's a little, it's a good tweener. I could tween those two. And then for other fabrications, thank you. I'm going to show you guys, we did the wilt here in the nylon, and this, like,
I mean,
it's just so simple.
You know, it's really funny because when I was reviewing this collection with the store team, and you know, they were asking about why certain silhouettes were not done in fabrications that we had previously done. Like, you know, Italian Sporty nylon is such a key fabrication to Tippy's history. And then we just we really focused on this Winslow for this season. And I mean, I think that's very fitting in terms of like, you know, really wearing what you own and investing in the best of the best.
And I mean, let's be real, like there's only so much that we can do at any time. And
Right.
we are a small company, and even if we are a big company, I would tell you, don't be doing so much shit. Just
Totally.
settle down.
I think, you know, we are excited about other fabrications that are in this, but obviously this is a material that's really true to the brand, and so.
And this one, so this fabric is a new fabrication for us, and it's like a chino twill, and it's very classic. It's got a dry hand, and I love it with the slinkiness of this. I just love it here with the denim. And so what you see is it's got the buttons here, and then it's left unbuttoned. So your buttons hit at the place where like a normal crop top would hit, and then you're going to get a little belly button action happening there, unless you wanted to bring up your pants and belt them, which remember that is the benefit of this long rise, is you've always got the benefit, the option of raising that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the built-in styling hack is definitely key. Within that same fabrication, we have the midi skirt in white. I know it looks really long on me because I'm much shorter than the model. Oh, see, look, much better.
Yeah, and it's a classic midi length.
It's a classic midi length. As you guys have probably noticed, we have really been embracing the midi skirt this season. We have our tropical wool style, which is a new tropical wool silhouette for us, but not something new for the brand. And it's a skirt shape that, you know, feels familiar, but because of the materials, also feels quite new. And then this is a little shirt jacket with the ruffle detailing that you can style back to the skirt, but we also really love it with a jean. You know, it could be the Sid jean, slouchy carpenter. I kind of love it with the white tuck also. I think a lot of the time, and you know, myself included, we stay away from like all white, but I think this is a really modern way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we stay away from it because I think it's really hard to get it modern with the fabrication of the bodies, and when you do, then you lean into it, and it's a good thing. Like, I am excited to wear these together, and this jacket is great. It's one that, I mean, ironically, I'm going to tell you, the one who's wearing it the most in the group is Tracy, and I think this is where Tracy is so boyish in the way that she dresses, and so for her to have this like back here that's like a true like bomber, and then in this fabric, like this is her way to be able to participate in something that's more feminine but still really feel like herself. Where for me, I have a lot of more feminine bottoms in my closet, like, and I'm not putting it, like I would not put this with the balloon skirt, right? But I'll wear it with the short.
Totally.
So, anyways, the good short. And let's see, the pants that are up right now, this is your classic ring 3 colorway here in the stone that we are known for. Katura was wearing the lavender with this. And it really does, like, we know it is the ultimate chill downer. Someone had sent kind of a raspberry-ish colored vest that they had bought from one of our favorite boutiques, and they just didn't know how to wear it, and everything they sent me, they were pairing it with black and everything. But when you put it with this, changes everything.
And I think this is a really, you know, really good example of how we're just always circulating like our favorite pieces and our favorite materials. So like if you have a Liam or a vest in the dark stone, this is an opportunity to, you know, invest in a piece that you can wear back to it, that also you'll be able to wear moving forward as well. And I think that's something that I really love is, you know, this is a new silhouette in this fabric, and you know, if you got the jacket, that's great, because we're not producing a jacket in the dark stone. So it feels like you kind of like won the lottery almost to be able to get a new style that goes back with some of the Tibby pieces that you already have.
And this is a really beautiful ring 3 color as well, and it just feels so fresh. And here is where like if you were on vacation, wearing it with the mid, bringing it down a notch by tying up the sweater around the waist would feel great. But I really, and sometimes too, if we're doing like, if you're going ring 3 on ring 3, I think one of the other things to think about is what's the way to lift it in the shoe.
Totally.
So this is where like a brown sandal would maybe feel a little too dark, but like mixing it, like this is the gold, which we don't have the pictures yet up on the site in pre. We're gonna get those up, but the gold like works great to like lift it up. I'd probably wear like a bright white with it as well to give it like some okay, so quick housekeeping before we end here. On Sunday, we are showing the fall 24. We're calling it a showing, and I'm really excited about it. I cannot wait to explain to you guys the campaign that we shot and the why behind it. I'm very excited. I'm going to post for a job position that we have open that I think a lot of people are going to be excited about. But we are putting out a job for a visual stylist for the company. And we are viewing this through the lens of like a 1-year position. So if there are any like amazing freelance visual stylists that want to work in-house for a year and get a feeling for that environment, we would love your resume. Yeah, like a really nicely paid residency. Then we're going to Paris at the end of the month, and we'll still do live next week, even though we'll be right in the middle of market. And is there anything else? We're painting the front hall right now.
I don't know if that was like an everyone.
No, it's true housekeeping though. So
it's true housekeeping. So you guys are like family. All right, so we will see you next week. It'll be good, and we'll have much more spring back then next week.
We will.
I'm really tired.
You can do this. We can do this.
We're excited for Sunday. We hope you are too.